Do you have any confidence in Trump to stand up to Israel in his term?
I don't know. Honestly, that's a big unknown. It's sort of unpredictable. And I would say that Trump has surprised me. He has been more defiant against Israel than I thought he would be. I expected that he would defy them a little bit, because what you have to understand about Trump is he's a deal maker. I don't think he's an ideologue. He has ideological beliefs. Fundamentally, the way that he behaves in a campaign and when he's the president in government is it's all the art of the deal. And you could see it very clearly. It's all this protracted negotiation, maximalist bluffing. China better not raise the tariff or else. Russia better make a deal. Iran better make a deal. There's always wiggle room. There's always, and none of these things, the other day at a press conference, they said Trump always chickens out. I wouldn't say it's chickening out. I would say that the bluffing, the threatening, the big talk, it's all part of the process. He's a negotiator. If you read The Art of the Deal, it's all in the book. It's all about putting together these kind of creative solutions, bringing together different parties that may have these obstinate differences and trying to reconcile those things by changing how the table is set. Just sometimes by saying something very bold, very unexpected, like the plan to expel everybody from Gaza. I don't think Trump even wants that. I think that's meant to shake things up. To the extent that he's ideological, for 30 years, he's been against foreign intervention. He was against the Iraq War. He wanted us to withdraw from Syria. He wanted us even to withdraw from Germany and Korea. He is ideologically not an isolationist, but really something like a non-interventionist. Now the new term is a restrainer. They used to say non-interventionist, meaning we don't want a military intervention in every scenario. Now they say you're a restrainer, meaning a restrained foreign policy. We're willing to intervene, but we're going to be restrained. We're not going to take every opportunity. It's just a subtle change in the language over the years. So I think Trump, properly understood, is a restrainer, because he'll use the military. He bombed Syria in 2017 and 2018. He killed Qasem Soleimani, put maximum pressure on Venezuela, brinksmanship with North Korea. He prefers non-military solutions. And in particular, he's averse to these ground wars, averse to having a ground occupation in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen, where we were involved with Saudi Arabia for something like a decade. And so I think going into 24, he was going to be averse to what Israel wanted, which was a full-blown war with Iran. So I predicted that he, and even J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard and Pete Hegseth, they would be averse to any kind of military strikes on Iran, certainly any regime change war, ground invasion, anything like that. The tension is that he owes the Israelis big, because Miriam Adelson gave him $100 million in 24, and that came with some strings. And I'm sure there were other deals that were made. Many other Zionists gave him money. And look, let's be honest, after October 7th, many of the Jewish Zionist donors, Democrats and Republicans, rallied behind Trump, some even reluctantly, when he won the primary in 2024, because they expected he would be more pro-Israel than a Democrat administration. So even these big Democrat donors like Bill Ackman, Jacob Hellberg, they've given millions to Democrats in the past. After October 7th, they were Republican for that reason alone. There's this tension. And of course, there's this tension inside the administration. So you've got these neocon guys like Mike Waltz, who was the national security advisor. He was literally working with Netanyahu. He was using a encrypted messaging app for communication with the Israeli government in cabinet meetings. This was in March, April, and May. He got fired earlier this month in May. National Security Advisor heads up the National Security Council. So they, when you have these meetings in the Situation Room, the military will present the options to the president. This is the situation. This is our intelligence. These are the options. It's the National Security Advisor's job to come up with those options. That guy was Mike Waltz. He was working for Netanyahu. He got fired for that. And this isn't me saying this. This was in the Jerusalem Post. This was in the Washington Post. This is in the New York Times. This is mainstream press. And it only makes common sense. Look, Mike Waltz was a congressman from Florida. Florida has one of the biggest populations of Jews in the world. It's one of the 3 big population centers for Jews in America: LA, New York, South Florida. As a result, all these creatures from Florida, like Rubio, DeSantis, Susie Wiles, Mike Waltz, they're all very pro-Israel. Because to get elected in Florida, you need all these big Jewish pro-Israel donors. That's who makes up the big donor base in that state, because of who lives there, because of who's rich there. When Trump gets in 24, his chief of staff is Susie Wiles. She's from Florida. She ran his campaign in Florida. When she's the chief of staff, she picks all the personnel. She brings in her people from Florida. So she brings in Rubio to be Secretary of State. He's close with Miriam Adelson, who's a super Zionist donor that gave Trump $100 million. They liaise between the Pentagon, which is the DOD, the whole military, and the White House. She's Israeli. Her husband is buried in Israel. She brings in Mike Waltz to be the NSA, to be the National Security Advisor. You have this infiltration that is deep inside the government. This is my point. It's almost like Trump doesn't have full control over the House. He is the president, and people say, well, what he says goes. Well, not quite. And this was a big problem, and I warned about this. Nobody listened. This is now a problem in the second administration. When you have bad personnel, bad chief of staff, bad secretary of state, bad national security advisor, you're going to get bad options, bad intelligence. You're going to get people that are pushing you all the time to go to war. And Trump is one of these people where he will go with whatever the last person he talked to said about an issue. He'll have 2 people fight it out in the Oval Office, and the last person that he's heard, that's who he's going with. Now, you can fight that battle for a long time, but you fight that battle every day for 4 years, and it's all neocons, and they're baked into the cake there in the Pentagon, in the National Security Council. Through attrition, eventually they're going to win over, and they're going to convince you to do things you didn't want to do. I'm very concerned that either you're going to have the neocons inside the administration win out, neocons in the Senate. We could get really granular into this stuff, but the Republicans in the Senate are exerting pressure on Trump, on Iran, and then of course the Israelis, even outside the U.S. government, they have their own way of manipulating the situation. When all is said and done, if Israel provokes Iran into a direct confrontation, that forces our hand, and we're now in the middle of it, whether we like it or not. Now, the question is Israel willing to take it that far? How confident are they that Trump will go along with it? Conventional wisdom says Trump will have to go with them, but I think Netanyahu is maybe not fully confident. Maybe that's why he hasn't carried out a strike yet. So there's a lot of variables here, a lot of different people that can manipulate this, whether it's White House personnel, the Senate, Netanyahu. That's why I say I really don't know how it's going to shake out, but I'm not too confident in Trump, I will say at this point. If I were to bet right now, I would say he's not going to be able to restrain Israel.
What a statement. You didn't vote for him, right?
No.
Who did you vote for?
I didn't vote.
Oh, you skipped it this year?
I didn't vote, yeah.
But you voted for him in the past?
I did. I voted for him in 16 and 20.